So several years ago, I was asked to speak to help the Utah Symphony develop their fundraising and to acquire more customers. And on this committee, I met a young man, Preston, who was just brilliant at social media marketing, which we needed to become successful, but I knew nothing about it. And he started teasing me, and he used to say, "Judy, you have got to start tweeting." And I said, "Tweet? What am I going to tweet? 140 characters? I'm sitting in the bathroom?" I mean, I didn't get it. But one day he came to the committee meeting and he said, "I've built a website for you and it's live." And I was dazzled. So later, when he asked me if I would be willing to mentor him, of course I would be willing to mentor him. Reciprocity, generosity. Well, fast forward a year later, I was on a flight to DC. I had meetings at the White House, the SEC, and the Hill over crowdfunding legislation. And as I got on the plane, I looked at the woman that was to my left and I thought, she kind of looks like a creative bohemian. She had kind of a loose dress and long dangly earrings, but sure enough, 15 minutes into the flight, she's reading the Wall Street Journal. Then she starts reading the New York Times. And it is often the case, I was wrong on my initial judgment of this human being. So I asked her where she was going. I was curious. And she said she was going to Tel Aviv. I said, "What were you doing in Salt Lake City, Utah?" And she explained to me that she was working on a familial brain cancer research project. She was a top brain oncologist. We spent about an hour and a half talking about the latest trends, what was happening in cancer research. And I commented that I'd always wanted to visit Israel. Specifically, when I found out my last name shouldn't be Robinett, it's Klein. I could be part Jewish. And so I talked to her. Well, when I arrived home from that trip, my partner picked me up from the airport and said, "We have a meeting with a surgeon in an hour and a half. They found a tumor." My world went from everything is fine to terror in 30 seconds. At the meeting with the surgeon and then an oncologist, I was told that we might have 6 months at max, 6 months to live. I turned to him and I said, "That is the wrong answer." 3.5 years later, she is alive and well. And how did that happen? Well, let me tell you, it happened because I had grit and I told the doctor wrong answer and I found a new doctor. It happened because I mentored Preston, who it turned out when I asked for help out to my network, said, "Geez, I've talked to a nurse, Dr. Powell at Hope Cancer Institute, has a clinical trial, let's get her in it." Now, I'll tell you, most people don't ask, particularly women. Probably the 3 most powerful words in the English language, besides "I love you," is "please help me." So Preston found that person. I called Dr. Deborah Blumenthal. She told me treatment options. She told me how to get into the Mayo Clinic, other information that I needed. So what ended up happening is literally 2 pieces of information with 2 connections resulted in life. Now I want you to think about those 3 wishes that you had initially. All the resources are there, all the people are there, and literally, it's your move, and it is a combination of this strategy, and you've always got to move. So get your right relationships, and personally and professionally be a success.